Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Dead End here in Cities Skylines. But today, we're going to finally sort out the traffic issue on the highway that revolves around droughts. Now, for quite some time, what we built was substantial enough. We had no issues. But now, since we've opened up a new kind of exit and entry point out of the region, we've added in that big, huge interchange in place of the roundabout. Drought, it's not looking good. It's not looking too good for these guys, so we need to kind of reconfigure everything right now, get everything sorted. But before we do that, guys, I want to ask you a little bit of a question of what we could potentially do in the future. Now, before we jump into it, guys, if you are enjoying this series and want to see more, smash that like button down below. If you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you are notified that next episode does come out. Now, this is what I want to talk about. We have, at the minute, the only way to get cargo in and out is if we drive it out of the region or we stick it on a train and it choo-choos out of the region as well. We don't have any cargo planes and we don't have any cargo ships at the minute. Now, I've been looking for quite some time. They're going into the cinematic camera mode right now. I've been looking at this area for quite some time because it's perfect for some really good farming. Now, if we build something down here, we have really good access to the waterways to bring cargo ships in and out. And I thought to myself, if I go down that road of bringing cargo ships in and out, how else can we utilize them to potentially, being used elsewhere? Granted, I can't send them up the dam, so this is out of the question. But, what if I built something around here, like a little bit of a port? Some kind of a port town or something like that? Where, I can then transfer goods between one side over the river using cargo ships. But that, around here, only seems to be the only option to maybe to connect up to the road network to skedaddle out of here. Or even if maybe I utilized something coming down here, driving down to connect down to there. What would be the best option? Creating a little city port over here, where I can then build another little city over here, farming industry, it'll transfer the goods over, up it goes. Or if I create a little port town over here, farming over there, and it connected up to here, so we then utilize this highway and the dam crossing as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, what would be the best option for it, but I'm thinking about doing something like that very, very soon. Now, problems we got is this. We have traffic backed up for days, and it all comes down to pretty much here. They're able to do a left-hand turn, which I don't want them to. Last episode, I did a really, really simple kind of upgrade to this road where I made it all 4 lanes just for the sake of getting vehicles moving. But now I want to actually focus on actually fixing it. Now, for the longest time, the only traffic going back and forth here was the traffic going to flood. But now we've got this road all connected going all the way out. It's now becoming heavily used. And what we had originally, where that was substantial, it is not good enough right now. So what I need to do first then is get rid of this connection here. There's no need for it. With how quiet these streets are coming out of drought, they don't need this. They can use this, thus only making one connection on the highway, which things then should be up and running a lot smoother. So if we're going to build mode first, I'm actually going to keep this road here because I might kind of connect the road from Oxbrook all the way down to there as a little side road. Maybe we could kind of class that as the original road that connected up Drought to Oxbrook and vice versa before they built the big highway bypass. So if I get rid of all of this right now, and then what I'm going to do is make sure that 100% we have got upgraded this road going all the way down. So it should be all good, yes. The only issues that we're going to see or that we're potentially going to have is this little road here, but we'll see what happens as time now goes on. So with doing that now, I have to give the game a few minutes to kind of figure out its new calculations and whatnot. But this is the only connection that we've now technically got into Drought. So the lane math is still there. We're going from a 4-lane into splits off both sides into a single lane or 2-lane and then back into a 4. So the lane math is all there. It's all working perfect. We've just got to give them time right now to figure out what lanes that they now need to be in. So, in your own time, guys. In your own time. So while we wait for that to now happen, where we have this road here between Oxbrook and Tumbleweed, that's like the original connection before they built the big highway. And I want to kind of do the same thing down to here to getting these guys all hooked up. So we'll utilize the plain street. I'll upgrade this here to be the plain street as well. Now, I'm not going to say let's try and utilize the that little mod where we can connect everything up. But should we see what happens if I do so? I'm slowly falling in love with this mod. If I was able to select it correctly, it would be great. Where we're able to create connections. So, create connection mode. So what we do here then is we then select you, and then we want to get a connection up and running. Now, this might be a little bit too close for comfort. So double click to add a curve to this line. Aha. So can I... It's on the wrong side, the curve. Ah, there we go, there we go. So if I did it like there, and if I... Okay, we can't really increase it on that sense. I feel like we need to kind of have a little bit more going on, don't we? Yeah, drag to move circle. I mean, it's kind of handy. And it's kind of handy. But, yeah, it's doing loop-de-loops that I don't want them to, or does that not matter anymore? Is that doing a... I don't know if that's doing a loop-de-loop. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Ooh, ooh, okay, okay. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Now, I can obviously have a little extra going on. But, oh, I'm late. I didn't know this was a thing. We can kind of configure it like this. But I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. So now it's just getting a little bit too much, isn't it? I think now it's getting a little bit too much. But it could work. Because what I'm trying to also technically do is follow the curvature of the roads. So I brought that down to here. That down just to there. Maybe up a little bit. So then bring that down a little bit to follow the curvatures. Yeah, let's keep it like that. So if I press enter right now, you get this beautiful monstrosity. But of course, it's all technically at the same level, so that's kind of, you know, pretty cool and whatnot. But if I select out this node here to come right down, so if I get that down to a point where it looks semi-normal-ish, then we quickly run up right now. So what we'll do here is we'll gradually slope it down. So I'm going to do it from there where it looks kind of comfortable. So slope them right now. So they kind of gradually go down. So we've got that big dirty cliff edge on the side just there, which will hopefully now just kind of take the edge off it slightly. So if I quickly... Well, I don't need to pause it, to be honest with you. Go smoothing that off there. And if I bring the brush size down slightly, and then just kind of come away from the road there. So it's like we kind of carved a little bit of the mountain edge off right there to kind of go around this. And then from this side then, I'm going to select you. Bam, bam, bam. Now these do look a little bit funky on some of these little edges. These like little kind of awkward like 45-degree corners. But we're going to sort it as in just a minute. Now the great thing is, if I bring it down to that section here, it would hopefully start dipping down at the end of the runway. Which, oh, have I missed a node? Yes. There we go. So not much, but it's enough to kind of just like slightly take the edge off of the planes can fly over the vehicles' heads. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, there was another node I missed. There we go. So that all goes down gradually. So there, it looks a little bit funky, but we'll sort that out in just a second. So back to the terrain, and then we're just kind of smoothing it all up. It's nothing too mad or mental to mess about with. Just take the edge off just around here. So what I do here then is I'll delete you to there, to there, to there. And then we'll see what kind of bends we can kind of come up with. So going down to here, a 15 by a 15 brings us to here. It's got more of a gradual bend, but then I'm going to delete this here up to there. Ooh, now that's a point, and we're not technically. So where does that fall into play? Is it the 3 by 3? Slight little 3 by 3 there to connect that. And then I just want to do this last little one here. So I never really kind of used the method that we just had with that little tool. But I like the idea of that. You're just driving down. There's a little kind of corner to kind of knock around. Not too shabby. So we'll move this then. Just over to there. And then we're good to go. So rather than it being like a boring straight line, there's a little bit of character, a little bit of configuration going on within it. Now, I haven't given the game long enough yet to simulate to get everyone to pass by. And I think what I'm going to do quickly is, because I know there's like a bunch of lane management stuff all set on these roads from when we had everything originally in. And the quickest way to kind of get rid of them is if I kind of, from here, go across here. I upgrade it to like the asymmetrical road. It doesn't have to be the asymmetrical road, it just needs to be a different type of road. So then upgrade it all the way back. So that is the quickest way to get rid of all the lane configuration on, but it will still keep the ones that are kind of there anyway. So that's all good. So that will give time for it to alternate pass by. The last little bits of traffic should then eventually clear through. We just got to wait for them to do what they've got to do. So a couple of vehicles changing lanes there. Why do they change lanes there? That's interesting to find out. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense, so I'm going to kind of keep them all straight. And the sole reason for this is... Whoa, what's going on there? It's a bit funky here, isn't it? I want them to change lanes further down the road. Now, everyone can fly through in that little junction, so there shouldn't be any stopping and starting. But it's stuff like this here. Because you kind of create that little connection, they decide they want to stop and start. It's really weird. And it happens just here as well. Very funky. But at the end of the day, it's now all moving, hopefully. Hopefully, he says. It's now all moving a bit more freely than before. And this now becomes the main connection in. Which is great. We've got this little road here, so which it's actually kind of useful for certain peeps. It's probably the majority of the people are the people either utility vehicles or wanting to go to the aviation club. So yeah, that sorts a lot of the traffic issues out there anyway, which is really handy. So anything new now coming through has got the green light just to flow through and not worry about what is going down. Very impressed. So how is the trains looking over here then? There's a lot of people waiting on this line. So what line is this on? Line details. So could we utilize another train on this? I think we could. We're going to pump this up now to 6. I think that would be really, really handy. Not bad. And what are these guys complaining about over here? That there's not enough educated workers. So what are the education levels like around this place? So elementary school, we have high school. We're under capacity for quite a lot of it. High school, we could do with another high school within here. So I'm going to squeeze one in just there. What about over here? Oh, we have no education at all in flood. Shocking, mate. Drop a little high school just here. We're going to add in... I'm going to add in 2 elementary schools for these guys as well. So we'll have one near the... is that the gallery? I think that's the art gallery, isn't it? And I'll throw one in just over here as well. So we've got 2 elementary schools nearby. Oh, I might as well get a third one in. Where could I utilize this? Right, we'll just get it just there. So, a bunch of elementary schools now thrown in. Where else are we underutilized? We only have one in Tumbleweed. Considering the size of Tumbleweed, we could probably do with another one. High school's the same situation as well. Get a secondary one in there. We've got 2 in Los Wages. And we've got 2 elementary schools in Lost Wages as well. So elementary schools, we have the capacity right now. High schools, we've got the capacity as well. University all comes from this, which only classes us to have a 2,700 capacity. Is that true? It is true, yes. But it doesn't mean that everybody is kind of guaranteed to get a place in there. That's the difference on that. It's also a 4-star. I just realised that. So we do need more kind of students over there. It could be that they haven't got enough education. I mean, would I need to place other university buildings, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Or do you reckon I can heavily rely just on that one building? I ain't too sure. But look at how flowy this now all is. There's a lot of demand on this road, which is why it was important that I get rid of the roundabout. But it's very flowy. I like it. I like it. So, I wanted to do something with this section just here. Now, I don't know if I'm able to place anything within statue, if I guess even English, right? I don't know if we have anything I can throw in that doesn't have to be stuck to a road. I mean, I can throw that in the middle. These need to all be a part of the road. What is that there? The rider statue, a noble man. What options we got here? So we've got decals. We've got props. Props in parks. See, this is the kind of stuff that we kind of need, but I need something large. And I don't quite think I've got anything large. A bird bath, way too small. I don't think I got anything quite large enough that would kind of go really well within here. Which is a shame, really. I need to get something, don't I? So, do you reckon I should just turn this into like a little bit of a lake? It's called Drought, but it's only got one water source in the middle. It could work. There we go. Let's get rid of that tree just there. So how we would go about doing this then is first up in the brush size. The terrain height is 468. So if I take away 20 from it. See, even taking away 20 from that actually creates quite a deep crater. Now, is that too deep for a little bit of a water source in there? Well, it has to be deep. And oh my goodness me. Right, this is either going to go really well or end up really bad. Right, play. Please don't flood anywhere else. Alright, rise that water slightly. How is the water looking? Water rises. It looks really weird, doesn't it? Do you know what? I've got an idea for this area. I've got an idea. Right, really try and rise that a little bit more. Now, I want to try and put a path going around the edge. And then try and do something that we can then connect people to walk over. It can then be heavily utilized as a crossing. But I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this. So this is going to be a challenge and a half. This really is going to be a challenge and a half. Now, we'll try the bike paths. So, I want to say that this is a perfect circle. It is a 16 across. So, if I did a 16 across, right, like this, I want to say that this is a perfect circle. So, technically, what I'm aiming for then is on the 90 degree and 8. Right, hold on. So if I go up by 8 and then down by 8, what mode have I got on? Wait, where did that just disappear to? Oh, I don't even know anymore. What is real life? Right, 16. 8. 8. So if I then go around by an 8 and just create my little circle. like that. So if I then delete all this, but then if I select this then to be elevated, so it is technically still the bike lane. Okay. So then I'm hoping that this is going to work out. If I select all of you, pause the game. Oh, I'm so dumb. I did the circumference of the roundabout. I did the circumference of the roundabout. So if I go from here, we're looking at 12 by 12. So in reality then, would I be able to do it like this? 12 by 12, which will mean a... No, because it's not going to really work out. Alright, everything wants to connect to that one little section. Six. So is this right then? 6 by 6, yeah. Right, hopefully this one works out. If not, it's I'm just the worst player in the world. Right. Drag you now over. So it fits in wonderfully. It's just not at the correct height. So bring this right up. Oh, okay. So the whole thing is at different... It's aligned at different heights. So if I get it to there... So first things first then. There's only nodes in certain areas. So if I align this with you... The next node is there. So if I then align you with... Let's just say that for now. And I'll just manually drop this one. There we go. Oh, this is actually quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, that should be fine there. So we now have that going around. But obviously, we need to, one, reposition it a little bit more centralized. We need to have give the people the ability to kind of get over here and actually kind of experience this kind of place. So we're going to create 3 spirals that come out and over. A spiral there, up and over. We'll see how this works. I'm hoping it's going to work out well. You just never know in this game. This game always loves to throw a little bit of a surprise attack at you. So where are those nodes first? One's there. One's there. One's there. So we should be able to get away with this. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So, placement-wise, we'll start with this one. And we're going to off-center it. Because obviously we need to kind of come up. So if I bring this right up right now. Well, what is going on with this? Right, if I pick an 8. Pick an 8. Or first come down to there. I might have a better idea to kind of connect them. I might have a better idea. Right, bring you to here. And then we'll choose... Because there is the center. Right. You see where I'm going with this right now? So I do that there. So that becomes the center. I've created the Mercedes badge. Well, this monstrosity. So drop you down to here. So we'll line everything perfectly anyway. We'll get it all looking really good. But let's just get the basics in first to cross over. I was going to do little loops going around, but I've changed my mind now. But they still technically can't get down to that level. I'm starting to think, do I want them to get down to that level? Or do I keep it all nice and unapproachable? Right, you to there. You need like another node, don't you? I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't want them to kind of connect down to it. I don't know how I feel about this. Right, I'm going to drop this down anyway to a height that is satisfactory. Same on this, because it looks really high and it looks like there's then like a really big drop. But it doesn't need to be. That dude there is like on 2 wheels. So if I was to kind of create like a connection. It just messes everything up. Like big time. So there's no point, is there? Just going to end up causing more harm than good. Like that whole little system there is now messed up completely. Man, how do I get that back to normal then? I shouldn't have done it, should I? Should not have done it. Because now I just messed up my perfect circle. I've messed up my perfect circle. Sediac! Look what you've done! Well, I'm going to have to get this back in myself. So, right, anarchy is now coming into play. So it was a 6. Oh no. 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 Sediac, no, just no. Six by 6. Oh, that's the point as well, because I need to get it to that node. I'm just going to have to delete it, guys, and put it back in myself, because I've completely messed up any form of sanity. Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying, that is. Right, anyway. 6 by 6 on a 90 degree. But it's better than having anything boring there, isn't it? So you gotta give me that. You gotta give me that. But the frustration right now is real. The frustration is real. Right, back over here then. So bring it back up. So do exactly what we've already done before. So we're not gonna have anybody going around it by the looks of it. Bring that down. Bring that down. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah. Just push that out so it just visually looks a little bit better. So we created the Mercedes badge. Really weirdly, I don't know why. Now, unfortunately, people can't get down here. I'm not going to make them or force them to get down here right now, because it throws everything all off. But it just kind of creates a little bit extra. A little bit extra of a design. They can walk over it, which is really good. I mean, I could have just raised that and made him walk around that, but again, that just kind of looks a little bit better than just having plain old simple land bordered edge. So play mode then, because now they have the ability to kind of cross over. It did kind of ruin some of the zoning, which will hopefully slowly build back in. I wonder if I can now also place down a couple of palm trees around the edges of this, or is that asking for too much? I mean, it could be possible, but do I just kind of leave it to kind of have this beautiful effect? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But it opens up a whole world of possibilities now. So any commercial that we do have, or offices like we've got just here, are really, really highly accessible from these areas over there, which is really good. Rather than walking all the way around this area, we now have a dedicated crossing section, which already is being utilized by a ton of people, so that can only be a huge benefit for us. And it's got a bike lane on too. GG. GG. So this road's still looking good then, so I don't think we got any issues with this road. No issues whatsoever. Got the beautiful Mercedes badge. Mercedes Island. Sponsor? No, not sponsored, guys. I wish. I wish. I wish. So that's interesting then. It does open up a whole world of opportunities for them kind of crossing. So drought becomes more accessible. It might take away a little bit from the bus routes, but that's okay. Don't mind. This becomes a nice little feature, doesn't it? I do like it. I do like it. Great stuff then. So I think the everything around here right now is looking pretty good. I don't think we have any other traffic issues lying around or died anywhere, to be honest with you. But saying that, you never know. Traffic-wise then, we are running at a 77% capacity, or kind of, yeah, average traffic flow. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I completely forgot about this whole system over here. This is a huge headache. Now, what would we normally do from a little crossing situation here? Well, we would normally set up a roundabout. We normally set something like pretty much like this up here. But the problem we got over here is the elevation change is so dramatic. It's on the next level. So what would be the best option for this? Well, we've tried to implement these little crissy-crossy areas right now, but the sheer amount of vehicles coming in, it's not really going to plan. I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's not really going to plan. So what we could think about doing is, maybe rather than having this direct road that comes all the way through, what about if we changed it up a bit? Because yeah, it's very direct, but what if that was not the direct connection? What if, technically we're coming down here and they're all making that little turn to go this way? So what if I made this connect up to there, and then this road here connect down to there, and then we did some magic in the middle to kind of connect them all up? Do you reckon that would work? Maybe. Maybe not. Let's find out. Let's actually delete all this. And I'm actually going to delete quite back a bit. Now, I'm also going to delete this road. This train line's going to get in the way. So, we'll see first. We'll actually just kind of see what happens. Right, breathe a second, because this is going to get stressful. This is potentially going to get stressful right now. So if I go to build this, and we'll first utilize this singular road because we can kind of split it up into different ways. The current height of this right now is 15, and this comes all the way down to here. So if I chose, let's say, this point there. So if I go back by 10 here, and we're doing a 10 by 10 be okay for the bend on that. And if I came across there, that there is then when I want to then create an alternative bend. So if I went across by 10, down by 10, to then create our 10 by 10. And then that is the alternative bend here. And then that's when I get all the rows to kind of connect further off them. So it's a very elaborate setup that we're going to be going with. And like I said, I don't know how it's going to play out. So we would then have coming off this by another... Again, if I can make this happen. And that's where it merges into the 4 lane. And these 2 lanes that kind of come off will be the ones that connect from this highway. So that would have split there to kind of go up. And vice versa. So we're technically not connecting, in a sense, the road down to here, because they will connect down to there and then choose to turn off this way. It's a more dedicated and direct line going through. So if I deleted, say, back from here, this would also be dropping down in height as well. So if I forget this connection going on around here, let's just focus on this one coming down to there as being the main direct route. And if I brought you down to, let's say, just say here, is that gradient enough of a drop to consider us being under the train line? Probably not just yet, but to there. Because I can make that elevate all the way down as well. Man, this is going to be a stressful connection. I can already see this being a stressful connection. And if I came out down to here and then brought it actually down to the ground by the 20 mark, because I can elevate it all the way around, we're going to be looking pretty good. But are we, though? That's a question for another headache. Okay. So then we would then, at this point, maybe split in. We'll go by a 20. And I would want these to connect. Now, we'll attempt it. Not saying it's going to work, but we'll attempt this. From there. So yeah, it's not going to work just yet. Hold on. If I come out by 5. And... Alright, we'll go back by 1 to give us a little bit more benefit of the doubt with that connection. So, would I increase the radius to create more of a bend so it looks more natural? That's not actually too bad. That is actually not too bad there with that connection. Okay. And then we would, from this point at the moment anyway, connect you like that, and then obviously these will connect into there to form the rest of the 4-way road. But more importantly, vehicles are coming this way to go up and out, and then they're going to be coming in to go this way as well. So that works. That doesn't stop us doing pretty much anything at the moment. Now, what I want to do is a 13 by 13 bend, but by the 13th bend here, it is also come back down to earth. There we go. This actually bends round to connect up to that connection over there. And then we do some magic in the middle to crisscross both of these. Now the thing it does stop though is, before you could drive down here all the way through to get over to this side, we're kind of scrapping that idea off. And now all of a sudden, this here becomes the only connection in off this highway as you drive down, because you got to go all the way down there to get in, because this one here, if you turn off and go around, goes back over across. So that's where the magic has to kind of fall into play to be able to get you to go in multiple directions. But that's the headache that we have to kind of figure out in just a minute. So that here is by here, which is there by 14. So we're doing a 14 by there. And if I can try and bring this down to earth and connect that way. It's a very funky connection, isn't it? But this is where the fun has to play. Because I'm dealing with the elevation changes, you've got to do something a little bit different. That's kind of what we have to kind of sort out, which does get a little bit messy, but hey ho, hey ho. So we've got this up and running right now. We've got vehicles leading in different directions, coming in different ways. We then also need to flip you around that way just so we don't get messed up. So this road here, once they turn off there, is going to get split into two. So we can also connect down to there, but also go across to connect over to this side. And you borderline want this to work on pretty much every single way. Now, every way, it gets very, very difficult. The elevation drop there is dramatic. I'll have to sort that out. Some areas have to go over. Some areas are going to have to go undown. We can get away with that for the most part. So what I could say is all right-hand turns can be normal. That works there. So right-hand turn there. For you, your right-hand turn's okay. For you, your right-hand turn happens there. For you, your right-hand turn's okay. It's very dramatic, very dramatic. So if I then go ahead and if I sort this out now, so if I do a 10 by 10 doesn't work there, but an 8 by, if I do a 7 by 7, that works there. Works there, and then we've got to try then and connect this up. So hopefully I can utilize my new connection tool as well, and it will provide the right bend for us without me having to do all the guesswork for it. So that's what I'm kind of excited the most about this with. There to there. So yeah, that works on both. And I just increased the radius until we can't go no more. There we go. And we get that solid line going down. So I press enter right now. It all kind of completes and comes in within it. Then I would have a road, because that road turns off that way. The second road here will go underneath to kind of connect up to merge all within. Now we are technically merging 3 lanes into 2, so that's going to get a little bit awkward. But we'll figure that out as time goes on. Now, that works wonders. But of course, I've got to have an additional road that kind of comes off to then go across over to there. So you would then need this to split into another lane, which that's when the confusion and the awkwardness kind of comes into play. Because you need to add that additional one to go over. See where the headaches ensue? It's something so simple that you can create, but I'm making it so complicated, like so complicated, all because I want to have a dedicated road going left to right, and the elevation change completely throws us off. But you see where this is going, right? It's simple. Very simple, believe it or not. Now, you're either going to love me or hate me for this one, but trust me, this is going to be amazing. Now, what I've done is I've created, I mean, it is ridiculous at the minute, guys. Please ignore how uneven everything is. But right now, every direction coming from any direction literally has its own dedicated line or road to get to where it needs to get to. Now, the reason I've chose to do this is because why not? Why not have something over the top? I could have done something so simple to get these guys connected, but you got to hear me out on this one, guys. You got to hear me out. So how it works is we've got the 4-lane road. So say you're coming down on this road here, these long guys right now. You can either go straight ahead, which you got a dedicated road that turns in because the main traffic is coming from this way and also exiting this way as well. So that's why we got the national road system here. You can turn off, which you then split into 2 roads. If you're going straight ahead, you go this way. Or if you're going to the right, which will be right for those guys, you go this way, which you connect in. And every level has the same system. So whereas before that these guys, this was here going to be the only turn in, they can also now utilize this one as well. But it's a little bit all over the place. Everything crisscrosses, everything's on all different tiers, and I've got to sort the levels out right now. Now, you're probably going to love me or hate me for building this. And I have a feeling the majority of the comment section is going to be saying, that is the worst thing I've ever seen in all of my life right now. And to a certain extent, I do agree with you. But at the same time, I've always wanted to create one of the most overly complicated intersections ever, and I feel like I've just now accomplished it. I feel like only now we have physically accomplished it. So what I'm going to do right now then is get everything all sorted. I'm going to try and sort out all the levels of all the roads. And then hopefully you'll be on board with my life choices. So coming from this direction, we'll start with this direction. So if you're coming in, well actually if you exit in, you're going straight over, it drops down, it's not ideal. But this straight over piece right now is not looking ideal either. So we'll select you. Now, guys, don't judge too early about the monstrosity that I've built. Don't judge too early. Trust me. You're going to fall in love with this. I want to bring this down here to be able to then bring this down here. Right, we're going to also delete that section just there. So bringing this all down. So from this direction, it's a pretty flat and straight road before it goes all over the place to align correctly. So if I then select all the nodes leading up to it, to there, and then if we then slope them, it kind of slightly digs in a little bit, which is perfectly fine by me. Then we have this road here, which does something so freaking dramatic. So if I first bring this and you down to this level here, the same level as this current road, so we can see what's going on. I think the main issue for this road here is the fact that it needs to be elevated slightly, but it's also connected to underneath. Now if I go right in, I can also slightly raise this to then raise this to then raise you, and we're going to slightly elevate this road as well because it's stuck onto the ground. Look at these hovering vehicles right now. There's a lot to take in right now with what we're trying to accomplish, and then that will raise up, and then the problem occurs from this moment here all the way up, down to there, and to there, which will then slope those guys. So now they're looking semi-normal. Semi-normal, he says. Now, from this point here, I think we are comfortable with it not being elevated anymore. So I think I'll do it from there. So it looks a little bit better. This side is also another monstrosity. So if I also get these guys aligned the same to there, and then we also need to slope all of this as well. So before we do, are we happy with the road going straight across from that alignment? I think we are. So I think we can then, oh, hang on, hold on. I think what we'll do now then, from this point here leading all the way back, we'll try and then slope this to that point. Okay, I think it was perfectly done anyway. I think this side here throws us off, isn't it? So if I go from, actually, let me make sure that this is the, okay, this and the right alignment all coming in. So that needs to be elevated slightly, which raises this up, which that needs to be elevated just here, which will give us the ability to then keep the levels being raised, because that needs to go up. Bring that up to there, because we are going quite for a dramatic increase in the terrain height. So by doing that then, I should then have a decent enough, right, rise you slightly, there we go, bend coming in. So from that point there, if I then select all the nodes then heading back up to that point and then slope these, we have a gradual incline, decline, whatever you want to call it, system going on. So that doesn't look too shabby there. This road coming around here is all sorted. That's all at the correct heights. This road down below right now is not looking healthy. So we'll try and sort this out. So if I select you to then drop down to there, to there. I don't know if it needs to be this low down. So we'll see what we can do in terms of the whole scope of it. So if I slope all of that, it drops down even further. Now, that's solely down for the fact that It doesn't need to be honest with you. So if I selected here, there, to there, to there, and then slope that, that's better. And then if I selected you, well, if I selected you, if I just kind of then sloped in between these two, is that, no, there's not a node there. Just slightly raise a little bit more so it's all on the same level playing field. Not bad. Then we'll sort these out. So they're all, it's all borderline now. Everyone's flowing just nice. It's got to sort the alignments out of these. So from that point there, so select you, going all the way down to here and then to here. There's another one there as well, weirdly. Get a more gradual drop. And then going across to there, to that point. Sort that out. So from there. So some sides of it is a bit shorter than others. It's just look at the draw of how much space they have available. Slope them. And how we're looking. Get rid of this. How we're looking, boys. So as dramatic as it is, I think we're looking pretty good. I think we're now officially looking pretty good. Now, it is the most overly complicated intersection in the history of the whole entire world. It really, really is. But well, what it doesn't lack is character. It's a talking point. But it should split up the traffic so dramatically. The only problem would be is when these two lines here merge into a single line to then continue on. Now that's only down to the fact that we don't have 3 lanes either side. That is a design flaw of the whole highway system. But we'll see. I've got to sort the little train line out there. We'll see what happens and what demands come from it. If I start to get huge issues availing from it, and then that's when we have to think about, okay, maybe I need to upgrade some of our lines and whatnot, and vice versa. But we'll see what happens. That's all I can say, guys. We just see what happens. I know I've killed the train line off there, but we'll keep it killed for just a minute. And the last thing we'll do now before we press the play button is just smoothing some of this out. Now I know I would have split you guys on how shocking this looks. And I know a lot of you thinking, Seniac, I am now officially unsubscribing. But just believe in the madness, guys. Just believe in the madness for just a couple of seconds. Right, so if I just kind of smoothen all the terrain around this highway and technically underneath it. I'm going to elevate this little strip here still. Just so I can grab the last little bit of the elevation change. I'll do the same to there and to there. How do we feel about that bit there being elevated? Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Last thing I want to actually now do is this bit. So this all comes from the one, your boy has always wanted to build something so ridiculous. And 2, it gives me the perfect excuse with the complete elevation changes that we're now seeing to create something so freaking ridiculous. So, believe in the madness, guys. Believe in the madness. So many levels, so many layers. It's one of those intersections that you dread driving towards because you never know what lane you need to be in. You ultimately don't know what's going on. You just don't know what approach you should be physically taking. I think I'm just going to keep these like that. Maybe upgrade this one here because of the mess. There we go. So it all fits within a pretty picture. So if I press play, now we're going to see this whole thing come to light. So everyone's going to be caught up in the wrong lanes from the get-go. So give them a little minute or two. But everything should flow beautifully. So we have the main road is obviously everyone coming from this way who wants to join that highway connecting up. So we've got a dedicated road for these guys coming back and forth, which is this one here that does a right. Got that in. Sweet, mate. Standard stuff. And then we have a dedicated road from here, which swings over to that left way there. It's not really utilised just yet, but it will be in the future. And then all the other roads are just simple little turn-offs. So you have the ability to still go straight ahead if you need to be in straight this way as well. These guys can come from this direction and turn off. If you wanted to go this way, you can simply turn off there. So it really splits and divides the traffic into multiple directions, which, again, it's going to cause a few little traffic issues from the get-go right now, but really splitting them up and dividing them gives them the ability to kind of spread out, make more traffic flow through the junction than ever before. Again, just believe in the madness, guys. Believe in the madness. I know it's a complete monstrosity. It's way over the top. It's completely not needed. But when it comes to cold, hard results, they speak for themselves. The traffic is a-flowing. The vehicles are a-moving. Now, the old saying goes, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Is that saying, you know, coming across for this junction? Just because I can build a junction like this doesn't mean I should build a junction like this, a whole intersection. But it's completely overkill for our current demands. But I did want to build an industry over here. So again, can be heavily utilized for here anyway. Still be hold up pretty well. All the vehicles flow through. No one's stopping and starting right now, but it is completely over the top. It is completely over the top, I will agree. There is so many levels of changing and elevation and switching and going under. That should be fine there. That I kind of like it. I like the craziness that is within it. And I think now all my roads are overflowing. So we had 77% traffic flow. Doing this has got rid of an extra percent. Oh no, 2%. There we go. Nice. Nice. Vehicles are flowing everywhere. People are using our little crisscrossy. Life has never been better. And on that note, guys, we're going to end it here. I cannot wait to see the comment section when you see this monstrosity right now. I cannot wait to see the comment section. So, guys, let me have it. Bring it on. I'm a big boy. But you cannot lie. You cannot argue with results. And the results are... it works. Guys, it works. Okay? Go easy on me. Until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So good!